And when it started, it was in the little corner office. I mean, small office, crates stacked. It was just Natalie.
Sandra has been a part of Natalie's Second Chance for 2 years. She works as assistant director with her husband and spends her time at the shelter coordinating events and helping out the community.
This summer, we're going to do our second annual Natalie's Second Chance reunion, where we invite the people back that have adopted dogs or people that have supported the shelter, so anyone's welcome.
Finding homes for shelter dogs isn't the only thing that this shelter does. A lot of the work involves training sessions, a food bank, and giving options to people who believe that rehoming their dog is their only option.
Her thought was, if she could give people food, maybe that dog could stay in its home.
One of the biggest parts of this rescue is having volunteers to foster, clean, and walk the dogs. Some of the dogs have been living in the shelter since as far back as August.
When we put out a plea for fosters, it's because we have dogs that have been here a long time and they need a break. They get really stressed.
This is Nana, who was left to be a stray, just roaming the street. During her trip to the vet, they discovered that she had pyometra, an infection in the uterus that could have killed her.
And she would have died. It's very quick. So if she hadn't been found, there's a chance that she would have just died out there all alone.
Despite all the work that goes into the shelter, rewarding stories like Nana's make it all worth it.
She's a good girl. A lot of them are good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The road to becoming a foster parent is full of extensive training and excessive paperwork. Lori Snow and Tony Mercedes began their license training in October of 2015 and got their license and first foster children, Jalen and Aiden, in May of 2016.
Basically, I've learned there's a lot of people looking into your background. There's a lot of people checking in on the kids. We have our agency stops in once a week. Our DCS case manager stops in once a month to see the kids and make sure everything's okay.
To get a license, potential foster parents have the option of going through an agency or the state. Snow and Mercedes got their license through Family Compass, which provides training and resources available to foster parents during and after their training at any time.
The training we had to go through to become foster parents, it was mostly training on how to deal with some of the situations they may come through. There was abuse, there was neglect, there was maybe other sexual abuse, things like that. Just kind of maybe the training opened our eyes to it from a kid's point of view, and what they've been through, how to maybe handle it, how to understand that some of these kids coming into your home may need a lot more help and understanding than a normal child would.
It became clear that the transition between homes was not an easy one for anyone, especially Jalen and Aiden. This was their first experience as foster children and Snow's first experience as a foster parent. It was an adjustment that took a lot of struggles, successes, and failures.
Since Jalen and Aiden have been here, her grades are a little bit better. She's putting her schoolwork a little more as a priority. And it's the little things that you don't think of the changes until you think of how they used to be. I mean, Aiden didn't pronouns, he was off. I mean, it was cute. Didn't want to correct it because it was cute, but he's changed there. He's a boy, and all boy, rough, playing, riding bikes, scooters, trucks, cars, jumping. But he's calmed down a bit, focuses a little bit more.
It made me become a better person by having a better, stable, foundation, and making me care about myself and, the basics of what I actually need to do and how I need to take care of myself and how I need to become a better person for myself.
Being a mother, whether it was to her own children or to foster children, seemed to be what Snow was good at. From day one, Jalen and Aiden became a part of the family.
It's added a few more grandkids to my mom. It's added a few more nieces and nephews to my brothers and sisters. And I feel even when these children do go home to their mom, they're still going to be part of their family. It's going to be just like children that were mine, even though they might not be mine forever. They're still going to be treated as my kids, and I'll still think of them as the same. I'm just as proud as these kids when they do well. when they get an A on a test, when they do well on a project. I am just as proud of these kids as I was of my own. It's just to know that just pointing them in the right direction and maybe making them positive, and just even the little bit of time they spend with us here can hopefully be carried over into their future life, so they can make better choices and still succeed even though they might not have the easiest path.
Hi, my name is Tracy Moldenhauer, and I am the founder of Mommy's Haven.
We will be a maternity home that will offer housing to pregnant women in need, and we've been able to purchase a property where we will actually be starting construction in the next few weeks. And with your help, it will make it that much better so that we can fund this project entirely with your support.
To get involved, go to mommyshaven.org.
St. Joe's Student Center is becoming more student-friendly. The Student Center is undergoing major changes this semester, and it is all for the sake of the students. The college store has been moved and connected with Jasmine's coffee shop. There will also be a convenience store with fridges and freezers stocked with food and drinks. The convenience store, along with the Jasmine's coffee shop, will open for business for Family Day on October 22nd. Other changes include the moving of the financial aid offices to where the old college store used to be. The registrar's office will also be moved to the Student Center to make it easier on students to deal with scheduling conflicts. Coming up after the break, we'll have the latest on the presidential election and more campus news. St. Joseph's College joins the mission to improve the lives of children battling cancer. Thanks to Seth Eldridge, Love Your Melon is now at SJC. Love Your Melon is an apparel brand dedicated to giving a hat to every child battling cancer in America. It also helps support nonprofit organizations who lead the fight against pediatric breast cancer. The new club has already helped Puma Joel. The members of Love Your Melon were able to get a care package together for Joel with Love Your Melon beanies and bracelets to help make Joel smile through his fight against cancer.
We were actually able to donate a hat and bracelets to Joel, who has went down with cancer, and we're just really happy we were able to do this, and our club is very excited for this to be our first project.
If you're interested in joining Love Your Melon, you can contact Seth at seldridge@stjoe.edu. If you're interested in buying Love Your Melon apparel, go to loveyourmelon.com.
Charlene Hall first began working as a journalist, then later worked each day in a local park with a Chicago-style hot dog cart, while spending her nights as a chef at a casino. It wasn't until her customers gave her a push that she decided to open a business of her own.
So I took a leap of faith and quit my job, and I gave myself a year to get this started. It took me a year and 27 days.
What started out as a catering business and cafe grew into much more. Hall has spent her time setting and achieving goals as her cafe grows.
We had 2 in one day, 2 weddings that were inadvertently booked the same day. So instead of doing our maximum of 325 people, we ended up doing 576 people that day out of our little kitchen here. And we did it.
It seems as if the whole town of Lowell works towards the success of the cafe.
Sometimes we put up a sign that says closed for catering, sorry, we know you understand. Because they know I was a caterer before I was a cafeer. So a lot of times they'll duck their head in and go, do you need potatoes peeled, or do you need this done? If I didn't have volunteers here, I could not do it. So many people believe in this place. They need this place in downtown.
But what Hall began to realize is her original goals for her cafe have changed into writing a new story for this town, one that impacts its people. Each year, Hall and her clients, who have grown into family, put together a Thanksgiving dinner.
We fed 219 people dinner. Everybody who worked in town that day, and kept our community running so that we could all be with our families. They all got a full Thanksgiving dinner brought to their workplace. And the volunteers, over the moon for it. Just, if you give people an opportunity to be kind, they will show you and they will make you proud.
With her mission to feed the town a Thanksgiving dinner came a new mission, to extend the magic of Christmas for another year for children in town by reading countless letters to Santa and replacing the North Pole with her cafe. From one girl's wish for a ukulele to another boy's dream to own a gumball machine, every child got exactly what they wanted. It wasn't until Hall was introduced to a young boy whose only wish was for pretend food, that she realized the role her cafe played in the town.
He said, there's no food in our house. He says, it's okay when I'm at school because I can eat. But at home, there's no food. This is my town. That can't happen here. Can't happen here. He's 6. Not going to happen in my town. I've been hanging a $100 gift card on their back door once every 2 weeks.
This little boy had unknowingly started a new tradition at the town's grocery store. Even with her cafe and catering business, Hall still finds herself spending days opening back up her Chicago-style hot dog cart. But this time, the money goes towards paying for others' groceries. In the time between catering and baking, her next goal is to write her own cookbook that shares not only her recipes, but her stories, her successes, her failures, and her lessons.
It's called Mama Ain't No Marshmallow. Because Mama ain't no marshmallow. So, gotta be tough.